I don't make fun of people who say they've seen unidentified objects in the sky.
He'll always say that he can associate with people who have had the experience, that he would never laugh at anybody who's had a UFO sighting because he's experienced it himself.
President Obama says that there is footage and records of objects in the skies, these unidentified aerial phenomenon, and he says we don't know exactly what they are. What do you think that it is?
I would ask him again. Thank you.
Did you go through the secret files, the UFO documents? Because if I was president, that'd be the first thing I did.
You know, it's funny. My daughters asked the very same question.
They did?
Yeah.
Would you be allowed to tell your daughters what was in those files?
No.
You would not?
No.
Now that you're out of office, you can do anything you want, right?
True, yeah. But I'm not telling.
I want them to think whatever they think. They do say, I mean, I've seen and I've read and I've heard, and I did have one very brief meeting on it, but people are saying they're seeing UFOs. Do I believe it? Not particularly.
There's a new name. It's unexplained aerial phenomenon.
I've seen unidentified flying objects that were unexplainable.
Just did unfathomable things, and things that no aircraft can do today.
Our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
All of a sudden it just zoomed away.
Time to find out what the truth really is.
The aliens won't let it happen. They exercise strict control over us.
There are enough stories out there. I think that people see things. What they see, I don't know.
All of a sudden, it's gone.
Two things happened. Something crashed, and the government definitely covered it up.
You saw that there were aliens there. Would you tell us?
Yeah.
You would. President Clinton said he did check, and there was nothing.
That's what we're instructed to say.
Unless it's a threat to national security, I think we ought to share it with the public.
Different lies that happen out there, and I believe that there is something out there.
It's the stuff of conspiracy theories, Hollywood blockbusters, and even presidential politics. The question, are we alone? Perhaps one of the greatest mysteries of all time. But some people believe we already have the answer. We came to one of the most secretive spots in the world to have a close encounter of our own.
And this one as well. This is depicting some of the crackling energy that these spheres are absorbing and mitigating. And you can see the crackling that occurs between the spheres of the energy that's coming into the solar system. It's another representation. And I think we've all seen this image. The artist is a well-known artist. His name is Android. Some of y'all may know him. He usually does beautiful art to music at symphonies or jazz concerts.
So I'm going to do a quick intro about you so that the viewers know who you are. For those who don't know Corey Goode, at the age of 6, he was inducted into the military abduction program. He was identified as an intuitive empath, and he was part of this program until he was 17, and then he was taken into the secret space program where he was a part of what's called the 20 and back, where you go out into the space program. He talks about bases on the moon and Mars, all kinds of information, brings it back. He did this program 3 times, and what I mean by that is that when you come back from the 20 and back, you are age regressed and time regressed, so you come back to when you were 17. This happened 3 times, so he served 60 years in the secret space program, came back as a 17-year-old, lived the rest of his life, and met his wife, and has kids, and then around a certain point, I don't know when, maybe 2012, 2013, started connecting to people online through a pseudonym, and then at some point came out into the public eye around 2015.
And then all of a sudden I'm born here and I have 5 fingers now, and what the hell, and you gotta figure everything out, and man, this place sucks.
We now are authorized also to say, Corey Goode has told me that we now can tell you that I did meet in person with my wife Elizabeth 3 different people.
There are ET groups that have been coming here for millennia and basically dropping off prisoners and undesirables from their cultures, onto our planet and then sending them into our reincarnation cycle.
There was a binder that had all of their different intelligence certificates, classifications. It was huge.
好啦，今集翻嚟繼續睇 Corey Goode 單嘢啦，睇下佢點樣挖個窿俾自己踩啦。喺庭上面嘅供詞，我哋繼續睇。
If they believe they were in the secret space program and in contact with the Anshar, who are my creation.
Do you believe you were part of the secret space program?
I was part of a secret program. I was.
And whose secret was it?
What do you mean?
You said it's a secret space program. Whose secret?
It was a government secret, I guess.
Which government?
The United States government.
Okay. And so you say that you're part of the secret space program?
I was brought into my lab programs when I was in elementary school, brought to Carswell Air Force Base, where we went through all sorts of experiments and training.
Which Air Force Base?
Carswell. It's now joint, and they changed it. It's in Fort Worth.
Okay. And so because of that, you're part of the secret space program?
No, I was brought into a secret space program based on that training, and after that, I did this.
And so the secret space program was introduced to you when you were in elementary school, right?
When I was 17.
I thought you said elementary school.
No, that was the training, the MyLab training, where they took us out of school and did training and experiments.
And when you say they took you out and did training experiments, who's the they?
The people that were working with the elementary school and junior high that I went to, and Carswell Air Force Base.
Do you know who they were working for?
The Navy.
Okay. And so the Navy was taking you out of elementary school and junior high and training you?
I'm sure they had Mrs. Hill, who was a contractor for them, was also teaching at our school, took us out of class, took us to the Carswell Air Force Base. For what all went on.
How often would they take you out to do this?
It was maybe one day a month, and then sometimes it would be like a little spurt of, more like 2 or 3 days in a week.
Okay, and how many years was it that frequent?
From when I was 6 or 7 up until 17. It's like 10 years.
As a result of that training, what did you do differently?
I'm going to need that rephrase.
Sure. As a result of the secret space training program that you had in elementary and junior high, what did you do as a result of that training?
I still don't get what you're saying.
Okay. Because of that, what did that cause you to do with this secret space training?
What did it cause me to do?
Yes. Like, for instance, you said you've done 20 and back journeys where you go away for over 20 years and you come back.
Yeah, trademark.
And, okay. And you've done that, and you've done that many times, right?
Correct. That's the dramatization on top of the story. Like I said.
Are you saying it's dramatization, or is it real?
Part of it's real, part of it's dramatization. Like I've said about all of this.
What part is dramatization?
Be more specific, please.
Sure. What part of the 20 and back is dramatization and not real?
Well, the 20 and back itself is my creation. That's why I trademarked it, and that's why it's a part of my intellectual property.
So does that mean it's not real? It's dramatization?
What does it matter if it's real or not?
I'm asking you whether it was dramatization or was it real?
It's a real part of my dream or delusion, of whatever you want to call it. I created all of this as on top of the training that I did have and the experiences that I did have. I extrapolated this stuff out and created it.
Okay, but it's part of your dream or delusion, you call it, correct?
With whatever y'all want to call it.
Well, what do you call it?
I call it my intellectual property.
Okay. And you state you've gone away for over 20 years and you come back and you haven't aged, correct?
Well, the 20 and back story in the book is that you're taking off planet, you serve 20 years, your age regressed, and you're put back in time to where you were first removed.
Is that the story or is that what happened to you?
It is the story.
So it's not what happened to you?
Not necessarily.
Well,
It's a lot of these things are memories that I had that I wrote down, and some of these memories could be real or they could be creation. I'm not exactly sure, but I created on top of them, used my experiences to create on top of as a foundation.
are you sure of any experience where you went away for 20 years and you came back and you hadn't aged to be real?
How would I be totally sure if that sort of thing were real?
Are you sure that you had lunch today?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you as sure as having lunch today as you were about any of these experiences like the 20 and back?
Like I said, the 20 and back is my creation. It's a part of my intellectual property. Me creating it means it came out of me and that it is my story and it was never anywhere before. Makes it my intellectual property.
That's not my question. My question is, today you went to lunch, right?
Well, listen, I have told you that I made up stuff on top of it, and in this book it says so. So, yes, I did make up stories about the secret space program extrapolated off of my experiences that I told you about earlier.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you. So, you stated in one place that you've done 3 of these 20s and backs. That's an extrapolation, that's not reality.
Okay. If y'all took about 10 minutes to read this, you will see it talks about Corey Goode, the real person, and Corey Goode, the persona that this stuff is based off of. All you have to do is read through this, and anyone in the jury will be able to read through it and make sense of that. But me delivering my intellectual property as if it's all absolutely true, yes, that is definitely a part of the PR and way to get this information out to the public. So
that it's not because it's not true.
Not all of it. Like I said, I have created everything that's in this book was created off of my experiences, what I perceived as my experiences, or just created it as a content creator on top of and used those as reference.
OK， 承認埋呢個20 and back 都係假嘅嚇，咁佢又唔直接答真定假，喺度講一大堆嘢呢嚇。正常你上庭嗰啲人哋律師問你嘅，你只係答 yes or no 嘅啫，係咪先？佢咁樣兜圈法呢，好明顯呢，佢係身有屎嘅，係啦。咁到最後都係答咗唔係真嘅啦，跟住喺度撒一大輪，就話佢根本就唔知係真定假，連佢自己都分唔到。如果想聽晒全集嘅話，可以去左邊呢個網址，大家可以單獨購買集數或者加入我哋嘅付費會員計劃㗎。